Our Region's Business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you. Our Region's Business. Innovation, transformation, momentum, improving our communities and driving technologies that will shape our region for generations. The collaboration that brings vitality, prosperity, and life to living. Stay with us for the coming half hour as we examine in depth our region's business. Now, here's your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, from bank to department store to bank again. PNC has big plans for the former Lord & Taylor department store building in downtown Pittsburgh. The bank acquired the building at the corner of Fifth and Smithfield earlier this year, with plans to convert it into administrative offices. And yes, it will go green, as befits the homegrown company that has emerged as the largest corporate owner of green buildings in the world. Gary Saulson is back with us. He's Director of Corporate Real Estate for PNC, which is, of course, a sponsor of Our Region's Business. Welcome back. Good to see you again.
Thank you. It's great to see you.
Can't keep up with it all. Building skyscrapers downtown, sky rises, and now the Lord & Taylor building, which has been sitting there for years empty.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. We think it was kind of a diamond in the rough, sitting in the middle of downtown Pittsburgh, empty for about 7 years after Lord & Taylor had put a considerable amount of money into it. And so it's a great asset for PNC to purchase, to renovate, and to bring 800 jobs into the core of downtown Pittsburgh.
Well, that's great, and right into that Fifth Avenue corridor that's really been going gangbusters since 3 PNC Plaza was built a few years ago. So what are the plans for Lord & Taylor? Is it going to look a lot different than it does right now? We
actually plan on making no significant changes to the exterior of the building. We really want to be able to preserve the history of the building. The building was built in 1923. Is a tremendous building. We'll do some renovations to the interior, but from the exterior, we really just plan on doing some upkeep and some restoration to bring the building back into its glory.
Now, you know, there's like a melon sign on the outside of the building, Gary?
Well, you know, that's okay. We really want to preserve the history of the building. And from a PNC perspective, we don't really plan on having a tremendous amount of signage on the building. It's important as a landmark in downtown Pittsburgh, and we really honor the history of the building.
Well, we did a segment recently on the Lantern Building and what you've done down, and really across PNC through the Legacy Project to really sort of honor the past of all those predecessor institutions that are now part of PNC.
Yeah, you know, I talked to somebody today who told me that their grandmother brought them downtown to go to the top of the golf building, which at the time I think was the highest building in Pittsburgh, and to go through the old Mellon Branch, which was at the Lord & Taylor building. And I just think it's really important to preserve that history. It's going to be a tremendous place for our employees to work. It has great access for public transportation, and we're really looking forward to moving in there in December of 2014.
Historically, it had a great big branch with this enormous open space, and I guess there were administrative offices in there. How's it going to be used going forward? What are you going to have to do inside?
Well, when Lord & Taylor bought the building, they actually renovated it and put in about 5 stories of retail. With escalators and new elevators, and they redid a number of mechanical and electrical functions within the building. So most of our work on the interior will really be in order to get our call center up and running there.
Okay. But I guess a lot of relatively new infrastructure then, right? Because of the elevators and the escalators. That's going to be a plus.
Yeah, the infrastructure's there. We intend to really be able to take advantage of that infrastructure. And really look forward to moving in. And I said earlier, 2014, we're actually moving in December of 2013.
Okay, so that's rolling right along. You're going to open up the windows again because they've been covered for years.
Yeah, the windows were covered with drywall and Lord & Taylor advertising. And one of the things we plan on doing is pulling out the drywall and letting more natural light into the area. Into the work area, which will give our employees a much better work environment.
Well, I know you've been one of the real thought leaders nationally on the whole issue of green building. Can this be a green building when it's such an old building?
It can actually be not only a green building, but a green historic renovation. And it may turn out to be the largest green historic renovation in Pittsburgh history.
Wow. Okay, so that's exciting. Well, you've still got a minute or two left. I do have to ask you about the other building down Fifth Avenue. Right now you've got a really beautiful hole in the ground at the corner of Fifth and Wood. How's that project coming?
The project's going really well. We'll actually be in the underground for about a year, and then the building will start going up. And what we're really trying to build there is a very hardworking building for hardworking people, which I think is consistent not only with Pittsburgh's work ethic, but with the work ethic and culture of our company. And I think the building in the end will really speak to the culture of PNC.
Well, what makes the building a hard-working building?
We're really getting rid of a lot of the electrical and mechanical functions that a building normally has. So this will be a naturally ventilated building, which will then essentially get rid of the hot air within the building through a solar chimney that we're building. And the solar chimney doesn't require any fans. So the building itself will be able to take on a number of functions that normally are in an office building, but normally are mechanical and or electrical.
So the kind of passive systems is that sort of the new thing in this whole intelligent
Yeah, there's a
universe?
there's a lot of passive systems in the building. The building will be naturally ventilated. About 46% of the time we'll be able to open the windows and bring fresh air into the building. About 91% of the building will be naturally lit, so we can literally have all the lights off in the building in the middle of the day and have enough light to work. One of the things we did is we looked at the setting in the building, and we looked at how the sun moves around Pittsburgh, and the building is actually set on the site in order to capture as much natural light as possible.
Wow, amazing stuff. And expect to open it when?
The summer of 2015.
All right, well, a lot of exciting things happening. Changing Pittsburgh's skyline, but preserving a good part of its past as well. Gary Saulson from PNC, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And we'll be back with more of our Regions Business in just a moment. Stay with us.